You're thinking about money wrong. It's not that you need to be a genius to get rich. It's that you need to stop doing dumb shit with your money. And that's what this book's about. It's not about which stocks to buy or how to become a billionaire. It's about why we do ridiculous things with our hard-earned cash even though we know better. You buy this instead of this. You think you need one of these because your friends all have one. You think this is going to make you happy, and you never hold these for long enough because you're an impatient little shit. But if you listen carefully, you'll realize that the financial advice in this book is actually really great life advice. So I'm going to take you through the psychology of money, giving you a quick summary and actionable lessons from the first 10 chapters. If you guys like this video, I'll make another one on the next 10 chapters. Let's go. Person A likes to spend almost every dollar they earn on partying, clothes, and their social life. Person B likes to save almost every dollar they earn. Person C invests all their money back into businesses and side hustles, and Person D has a pretty balanced view on money doing a bit of everything. Who's going to have the best outcome? And the correct answer is none of them. And that's because we're all playing different games. Every single one of us and our views on money has been shaped by a multitude of unique factors. Where you were born, how rich your parents were, what economy you grew up in, your personal wins and losses, etc. There is no one-size-fits-all when it comes to money. We all make financial decisions based on our own unique life experiences, and that's okay. Sometimes you win, even after making terrible decisions, and sometimes you lose after making all the right decisions. In other words, sometimes you're lucky, and other times you're not. Let's take Bill Gates, for example. I'm not saying he's not brilliant, but let's just look at the cards he was dealt. Not only was he born in America, but he was also born to a very wealthy family. And that wealthy family allowed him to get his education at an expensive private school. One of the only schools in the world that had access to a computer. This isn't to take anything away from Bill Gates' success. The book's just pointing out that no one's success is ever 100% attributable to their own skills and effort. So what does this mean for us? First, luck and risk are an inevitable part of life. Second, because they're inevitable, don't obsess over copying someone else's path. Just because they got rich doing X doesn't mean you're going to get rich doing X. Third, be humble and focus on your own behavior. In a world where invisible dice are constantly being rolled, control what you can and accept everything else. The 21st century has been plagued by this disease called more. You just bought this, but now you need these. You're currently earning this, but now you're wanting that. You currently live here, but you really want to live there. And that's all fine. I'm not telling you to not have any goals. But wanting more stuff and more money is one of the most dangerous traps in life. Why? Because it's a treadmill that never stops. We pretty much all forget to define what enough looks like. And again, this chapter isn't anti-success, but it encourages you to pause and think, at what point am I trading peace of mind for ego? Albert Einstein once said, "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world." I know this because I was there when he said it. Anyway, most people zone out completely once hearing the term compounding. You've probably heard it from some old white rich dude. But here's the thing. He's pretty f***ing right. Take this old white rich dude, for example. His name's Warren. You all know him. What most of you wouldn't know is that he made 99% of his wealth after he turned 50. And not because he started doing something different, but because he just kept doing the same thing for decades. This chapter also isn't just all about money. Compounding works for skills, habits, relationships, everything. Show up every day, even in small ways, and the results will stack over time. The overarching lesson from this chapter is that time beats intensity. Getting rich is football. Staying rich is basketball. Getting rich is pizza. Staying rich is sushi. Getting rich is white. Staying rich is black. Do you get what I'm saying? They're two completely different things, just like men and women. So, what's the difference? Getting rich is the flashy stuff. Taking risks, starting a business, investing in crypto before it was cool. It's bold, exciting, it's offense. But staying rich, that's boring. That's defense. It's all about humility, caution, and pretty much paranoia. It's realizing that no matter how smart you think you are, the world can still slap you in the face. In a sentence, financial success has more to do with survival than brilliance. If you can survive long enough to let your money compound, you'll win. But you need to avoid losing it all. So what does staying wealthy actually look like? An emergency fund. Avoiding lifestyle creep. Not buying things just to impress other people. And incorporating tips from the rest of this book. Here's one of the most underappreciated truths in business and life. Most things don't matter, but a few things matter a lot. These things are known as tail events. They're the 1 in 1,000 event that changes everything. Think the global financial crisis, 9/11, COVID, or the GameStop short squeeze. Rare, unpredictable, high-impact events that change the world. This chapter explains how a small number of your investments will matter a hell of a lot more than any others. Even Warren's portfolio follows this logic. He's invested in hundreds of companies over the years, but the majority of his gains have come from 3 companies: Apple, Bank of America, and Coca-Cola. It's not about hitting a home run with every single investment. It's about staying in the game long enough that you eventually hit some home runs. Imagine I gave you 2 options. Option A, $1 million a year, but you work 7 days a week, 10 to 14 hours a day. Option B, $100K a year, and you work 5 days a week, 9 to 5. Now, I bet there's so many of you right now thinking, oh, I'd pick option A, do it for a couple of years, and then quit my job and then be really free. And sure, you're right, in theory, but you better have been listening during chapter 3, because what happens after you go buy that big expensive house with your new income? And you can't have a nice house with a crappy car parked out front, and the house better be filled with nice furniture, and the girlfriend you impress with the nice car and house wants to eat at a nice restaurant at least twice a week, and very quickly all that money you've been earning is spent on your new lifestyle. See, I bet what you really want from money, what you actually want, is freedom. It's not the car, not the house, not the vacation. It's control over your time. That's real wealth. So how do you actually get this freedom? There's 2 options. Either make so much money that you could never possibly spend it all in one lifetime, or live below your means so that you're not a slave to your paycheck. Remember, freedom is the ultimate financial goal. Not status, not stuff, freedom. You're walking down the street and you see someone roll past in a brand new Ferrari. What are you thinking? Oh, look at that awesome dude driving the Ferrari. What a top G. Or wow, I respect that guy so much. He must have worked so hard. No, absolutely not. You're thinking about yourself in the damn Ferrari. You're thinking about how much you wish you had a Ferrari. So many of us get a little coin and go spend it on designer clothes, watches, and cars thinking it'll make people admire us, when really, they're too busy thinking about themselves to even care. What's that old Fight Club quote? We buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like. Now, if you're the kind of person who loves cars or watches or clothes or whatever it is, go buy the thing. But don't do it because you think it's going to fix your self-worth or make people look at you with a different level of respect. No one cares about you, and that's freeing. Rich is visible. Wealth is invisible. See, wealth is the money that hasn't been spent. The savings, the investments, the paid-off mortgage. It's the freedom to walk away from a job, the stress-free sleep you get each night. It's quiet. In today's world, quiet doesn't get clicks, and so we're surrounded by spending, and so many of us have mistaken spending for success. What happens if you fall into this trap? You end up trying to look rich before you actually get rich. And funnily enough, that's a pretty great strategy if you're looking to stay broke. Here's an idea. You don't need a reason to save money. Seriously. You don't need to be saving for a house or a car or a rainy day or even retirement. Just save. Because the real value in saving isn't about buying something later. It's about having options. It's about flexibility. Imagine your boss becomes unbearable. If you've got no savings, you're stuck. But if you've got savings, see you bitch, I'm out. The other major point in this chapter is about reframing how we think about income and savings. Too many of us are focused on how much people earn instead of focusing on how much people save. If you earn $500,000 a year but spend $510,000 in expenses, you're broke. If you earn $50K a year but can live off $30 and manage to save and invest that $20, you're building wealth over time. So, a quick recap. Chapter 1, no one's crazy because we've all had different life experiences. Chapter 2, luck and risk are inevitable parts of our journey. Chapter 3, figure out what's enough. Don't just keep chasing more. Chapter 4, let your money compound. The longer it compounds, the more you'll earn. Chapter 5, getting wealthy is vastly different than staying wealthy. Chapter 6, only a small amount of things truly matter in life, and this is true for your money. Chapter 7, realize that freedom is the ultimate goal, nothing else. Chapter 8, no one cares about you, so don't think that buying anything to impress people is actually going to work. Chapter 9, looking rich isn't rich. Wealth is invisible. And Chapter 10, save money for no reason whatsoever. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you liked it, I'll make another one in the next 10 chapters. See you around.